Hi everyone, it's Nicole. Welcome back to my channel and another card making video tutorial. Today, Simon Says Stamp is releasing their limited edition birthday card kit. This is always super popular every year, and I have two cards and matching envelopes to share with you today. I am first going to show you everything that you get in the kit, and then I'm going to walk you through creating these awesome stenciled rainbows. So there is a Spectrum Noir marker, also some of the little hands, I can't remember what they're called. Also, you get this amazing patterned paper. This is the Simple Stories Boho Sunshine, an envelope, this package of cute flowers, a birthday die. I'll show you what that looks like. There's also my favorite, the Boho Rainbow, the Boho Party Clear Stamp Set, beautiful embossing folder, another envelope, another die. This is a little boho flower die, some tags, a package of 20 tags and some twine, gold embossing powder, an embossing ink pad, white cardstock, and rose metallic cardstock. I think I got everything. Hot hands was what I was looking for with the little grippers. So we're going to start with the white 8.5 by 11 cardstock and trim this down into 4 1/4 by 5.5 inch panels. I'm only going to use 2 here, and truth be told, I love to be transparent. I messed up the other 2 and threw them away. It happens. It's okay. So I am going to take then some of the things I think that are going to work well together for the idea I have in my mind, and I'm basing them on this beautiful diagonal stripe pattern paper in the kit. That is right where I am pulling the colors of ink from my stash. And here's just a little look again at the paper you get. So the cards are centered around the Boho Rainbow Stencil Set. It's a little mini stamp set that packs a huge punch. You are going to love this stencil set. It's a 3-piece stencil. One stencil does 2 of the solid rainbows. The next stencil does the other 2 solid rainbow rays. And the third stencil does the decorative elements for all 4. So you might be thinking to yourself, why does your stencil look like you've already used it when just a second ago it looked brand new? That was because card number 1 got cut. It's on the editing room floor. Something bad happened, and so that one no longer is able to be salvaged. I know I tell you guys all the time things can be salvaged. When you double stamp something, there is really not a way to salvage that. So I am starting again. We've got Carnation and Sunbeam as the 2 base layers for the rainbow. The next 2 layers are going to be Cheeky and Ocean. Had to think, no, I'm so sorry. The first layer was Cheeky. This is Carnation, then Sunbeam, then Ocean. And again, these color combinations may not seem like what you would normally think of, and it may seem like a hot mess, but once you layer on the next layer of color, oh my goodness, amazing. So I know this looks really messy right now. When I stencil the second card, hopefully you'll be able to see that a little better. So this is Pucker. Then we're going to use Rose, Mandarin, and Royal. And again, some of these colors aren't in the same trio of Pawsitively saturated ink, but they go together beautifully. They look amazing and create just the most adorable rainbows ever. I love these. Imagine them in all of your favorite color combinations. You could do earth tones, you could do fall colors, Halloween colors, Christmas colors, traditional bright rainbow, primary colors, pastel rainbows. The sky is literally the limit. There is the rainbow. How cute is that? From here, we are going to build out our birthday card. And what I imagined for my birthday card was a sunshine peeking out from over the rainbow from the amazing Boho Party Clear Stamp Set. So we're going to stamp that with Sunbeam. However, I don't want to stamp on the rainbow ray, so I'm just using some yellow tape this tape was stuck to my die cutting machine. I'd used it for some dies at some point. So it's not super duper sticky. It's still sticky enough, but it is not so sticky that I think it'll tear my paper. Does that make sense? And I literally just made my own little rainbow, stamped, or made my mask, stamped my rainbow, and stamped the heart. Then I'm using the birthday die from the kit, as well as that metallic rose cardstock, and die cutting that. And we're also going to stamp additional greetings from the stamp set down here below our rainbow and sentiments. And for this, I was looking for a very collage-y type style of card. Something a little bit outside of what maybe you normally see from me, but I think I'm still going to be pulling in a lot of the elements that you know me for. I hope that makes sense. So I started with, I knew I wanted to use Hip Hip Hooray. But I felt like between that beautiful scrolly loop in the T and the tail of the Y, there's room for something. So let's pick one of the small phrases. And I decided to pick Let's Party. We're going to stamp that with some pucker ink. And then we're going to stamp another small phrase, actually, before we get to Hip Hip Hooray. We're going to stamp Woohoo. And then Hip Hip Hooray, and then I even added on another one with BD Time. Now, I did use my stamp wheel a lot. I kind of use my stamp wheel in my Misty. I use both of them. I prefer my stamp wheel for stenciling most of the time. Or if I'm stamping a wreath or something like that. But this was already out, so I went ahead and used it this way. I know you'll see me use the Misty here in a little bit as well. I use them pretty much interchangeably. So I still feel like I need something else. So I'm going to do Woohoo. And we're going to stamp that with Carnation ink, I think. That doesn't feel right, but I can't think of anything else I had out on my desk. It actually may have been Cheeky. Pucker, Cheeky, Carnation, and Rose are going to be used for Hip Hip Hooray. And I am going to do a little ink blend. Now, I originally stamped it in Carnation, and then I blended in some of the rose ink along the bottom, but it was a harsh line. So I'm going to ink it up again. I'm going to take a blending brush, blend out those rough, or not rough, harsh edges, and stamp it so that it has kind of that beautiful ombre effect. So here's what it looks like, and you can see there's like this really straight line. I should have blended it out that time. I did not. So let's go ahead and fix that. And I like to just soften it with my blending brush. Let's make sure it's good and softened. And then we're going to glue down, well, no, then we're going to splatter our background. But I do think I stamped B-Day Time. I removed it from the stamp wheel, and I decided I didn't want to put it back in a Misty or the stamp wheel, so I just grabbed an acrylic block. Now, the reason I want to splatter this before I add birthday is I don't want splatters on the birthday, and I also don't want splatters on my rainbow paper. I'm cutting about 1/4 inch or so, I didn't really measure it, rainbow strips from this background paper that I can place along the top and the bottom. It looks awesome like this, but you guys, we get the amazing Distress Mica stains in this kit. We get 3 of them, and they're brand new winter colors. And I'm going to take Wonderland, and we are going to spritz this pretty lightly over the background and give a little spritzaroo, a little distress splatter all over. I love this. I love that we get to test out some of the brand new colors. Maybe you haven't picked them up yet, so you're going to love playing with some of these beautiful new colors for your card making. Shake that up really good. Shake, shake, shake. Almost felt like singing right there, but no one wants to hear that. Okay, you want to make sure that the mica flakes at the bottom of your bottle, if you flip your bottle over and you see those mica flakes, they settle at the bottom. You want that to be mixed into your bottle really well. So shake it up until you can't see that light mica flakes at the bottom of your shaker bottle. And I did spritz off the edge a lot. You can see a lot of my big droplets are in my plastic box. That's what I want. I don't want to cover up my stenciled background. Oh my gosh, I love it so much. And then I'm going to use some tweezers and we are going to add glue to the back of the word birthday and glue that down in place right there above our stamped words and below the rainbow. These products work together seamlessly. You get such an amazing array of products in here. I think you're just going to love this kit. If you are a kit crafter at all, or you're just jumping in to paper crafting, a kit is the way to go. You get lots of things to play with and mix and match. So good. I just ran a little line of glue along the top and the bottom. I'm placing my stripe paper up at the top and the bottom. You'll notice I left it long on purpose. Once it's dry, I'm just gonna trim that up, glue this panel to a white top fold card base, and then I love these little flower embellishments included in the kit. So we're going to scatter these kind of throughout the design. I'm gonna play around with it a little bit to figure out where I like them the best. And that looks pretty good. But we're just going to pop these kind of all over in a diagonal, basically from the top left corner to the bottom right is how I arranged the florals. Much like I would use hearts or pearls or anything like that. Very fun. Love that little bit of dimension. And then, as I mentioned, we're just going to flip our panel over and snip this off and glue it to a card base. So pretty. You have an instant, happy, bright, fun birthday card ready to send. And in a little bit, we're going to make coordinating envelopes. So on another background, in between, I messed up another card. I mean, good times were had by all here. Sometimes that happens. And I am going to use the stencil set again. This time though, I am going to stamp happy birthday first. And the reason being, so I am doing a little bit different design. Yes, I'm using the Boho rainbow stencil again, but this time I'm doing the design where the sentiment's in the center and there's a rainbow above and a rainbow that mirrors it down below. We're going to stencil it exactly the same. We're going to use the same rainbow paper, stripe paper that I used before. I mean, think of all the cards you could get out of that just by cutting little thin strips. So many. I love that. I'm going to line it up. Figuring out where I want to start it. I think that's good because that's going to leave enough room at the top and the bottom for my rainbow stripe. And we're going to stencil exactly like we did before. So this is the cheeky color. And you may notice that in the finished card examples, the ink looks so much smoother and prettier. This is because with the dye ink, as it absorbs into the cardstock, it smooths out and it looks so nice. And then I am using Sunbeam. And then we're going to mirror it down below. And I am going to do that as I'm going to mirror it as I'm going instead of doing all three stencils and then all three again. Then we're going to take stencil 2 and we're going to do Carnation and Ocean. It looks like a hot mess. You know when I talk about ink blending Distress Oxide inks and how it looks bad before it gets better? This is another one of those that I feel like it looks kind of bad and then it looks better. Okay, now comes the magic of the layering. I love the layering. It's my favorite part, and I think it's what makes these rainbows look magical. Now, something I'm going to suggest, if you're going to stencil multiples, I would likely say clean your stencil. You don't have to clean it super good, but at least give it a good wipe in between each time you use it. I did it both ways, and I think it's easier to see through the stencil to line up the design with the layer back behind if you just give it a quick wipe off. If you've got a baby wipe or a rag or something, it doesn't have to be, you know, a super scrub. You can save that till you're finished creating. But I did find it's a little bit harder to line up the stencil the second time when you've got all of that ink all over it. Oh my goodness, how cute is that? So see how it's kind of hard to see through? I'm able to do it, but like I said, a lot easier if you don't have to try to guess. That's the wrong color. Always love when that happens. That looks like Mandarin, not pucker. And here's the rose color, and then finally some iris. I think I've been saying I was using royal. It's been iris. Oh my gosh, you guys, I'm so sorry. I purposely picked iris because I felt like it matched the paper, the color in the paper. Royal did not. I remember now. Okay. I am going to use the heart on either side of the word birthday in the color pucker. I'll just use an acrylic block to stamp that. And then we are going to spritz this again with the Distress Mica Stain in Wonderland. Although it's very cute just like this. I think that you could put the striped paper on the sides. I did put mine at the top and the bottom. You could do whatever you wanted to here, really. And then I'm going to spritz it. I'm going to add the pattern paper strips, and then I'm going to add a scattering of those same flower embellishments, which they are called, I should know what they're called, but I can't think of it. Oh, Craft Consortium enamel flowers in, I think they're in a spring color combination, but they just work perfect with all of these papers. Love the little splatter. And we'll just cut about 1/4 of an inch. These are 1/4 of an inch. I think my first card, they were a little bit wider. These I cut exactly 1/4 of an inch. So here's what it would look like if I did it on the sides. I just personally like it at the top and the bottom a little bit better. You could also trim down the background panel and mount it on a full-size piece, and there would be a rainbow stripe all the way around. So I'm adding in my little flower gems. Love that. And I'll glue those down and glue this to a top fold card base. Now let's talk about coordinating envelopes. I have not done some coordinating envelopes in a little while, but oh my goodness, I love coordinating envelopes with a layering stencil set. It makes the creation of your envelopes so quick and easy, and then they look custom and beautiful, and it's exactly everything I love. But I don't want to spend tons of time. So that's one of the reasons I personally really, really love a layering stencil set. So I have 2 white envelopes here, and I'm going to take the rainbow, and the solid rainbow rays work really easily if you don't clean them, as long as your colors of ink aren't super dark, I suppose. It's just the layering one that's so much easier to use if you clean it off. So I'm going to do both of these at the same time. And I'll be honest, I did not even really re-ink these. I just used whatever ink was left on my brushes. I was going for super fast. But they're perfectly going to coordinate back to the cards that we just created, and I could not love that more. And there's a little carnation and a little ocean. And see how hard it is to see through? I'm going to wipe it off. I knew I did it at some point in the video. I couldn't remember where. So I just wiped it off with a dry rag, honestly. And instantly you can see through it again. So that is my recommendation. If you have baby wipes or something like that, that's what I would do. And then the layering colors, I did have to re-ink most of my blending brushes because I wanted to make sure that my detail was there. If you love the look of these boho rainbows, I think you guys are going to love this. As I mentioned, you can do these in any color combination you like. I would love to see this like in neutrals. I love the idea of this as neutrals for like a baby card. I've seen that just, you know, out in the wild, I suppose, if you want to call it, that they do boho boho rainbow for baby items, and I think it's really cute. So that is it, friends. I hope you have enjoyed this video featuring the STAMPtember 2023 limited edition birthday card kit from Simon Says Stamp. The supplies I used are listed and linked below the video here on YouTube. I cannot wait to see what you guys create with this kit. It is super fun. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time. Thank you so much for joining me today for another paper crafting tutorial. I love being able to share with this incredible community of crafters. I want to give a huge shout out and special thank you to my amazing Patreon members. If you're interested in joining Patreon, please click the link in the description underneath the video here on YouTube. Patreon is a private community where you can support more of what I do. There is exclusive content, information, and behind-the-scenes content. Top-tier members will receive a handmade birthday card during your birthday month, access to D-Stash, and monthly exclusive lives, plus so much more. We would love to have you join our growing community. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to my channel, hit that like button, and don't forget to click the notification bell to always be notified when there is a new video or I go live. Thank you again for watching, and I'll see you again next time.